things are starting to look really ugly here, wick to the downside, and will straight come back up. We are closer to this part of the liquidity, so the worst should be over the weekend for Bitcoin. Guys, today we need to talk about some altcoins that are absolute resilient to Bitcoin going down. I will show you exactly which coins that are and why am I buying a lot of different altcoins right now. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here once again. We jump directly into the DXY. The DXY is going to the downside as we were expecting it, breaking it back into that support range. We got a slight bounce for now, but I expect further continuation. There is something that could ruin that, where we basically make a W pattern, something like this here, which we of course don't want to see, by creating here today a higher low compared to this low. And that is unfortunately once again the cash and carry trade in Japan, because the Nikkei is again dropping here to the downside today. Not massively, but a little bit. Okay, almost 2.5%. That is a lot for Japan. Not gonna lie. So we need to keep an eye on that this cash and carry trade is not unwinding too fast. It looks like that we still have continuation on this trade. We were spared for 2-3 weeks on this cash and carry trade to the downside. Yeah, almost a month. Almost a month we were spared. Yeah, and actually around the same time. So look here, when we got the drop the last time, it started on the 1st of August. Here it started on the 2nd of September. So I think this is no coincidence. So maybe, just maybe there are some entities and companies out there and funds that are on every 1st of the month now slowly unwinding their trade. And that's why we see this happening. So, but if my theory is correct, then next week, Monday, we should continue to go back up here on the Nikkei. So if that's happening, that will be bullish for us. Then also the DXY will keep falling to the downside. And also when we go then to Bitcoin, that means that the worst should be over the weekend for Bitcoin. This is what I'm seeing right now. And let me explain you why. Because here on the 12-hourly chart, stochastic RSI has here a little bit more room to go down. Now in a little bit over a minute, we're going to close. This 12-hourly candle will get closer to the bottom of that stochastic RSI. But what makes me say that there's the potential of going a little bit lower is not only the stochastic RSI, it's also the MACD being bearish and also the RSI still trending down a little bit, even though I see here a little curving happening already, which potentially show us that we are losing momentum to the downside, but slowly, which again is no big indication of that we cannot get one last flush to the downside. On the weekly chart, things are starting to look really ugly here, because you see here now a clear distinction of the trend line going to the downside, which marks a sell signal. I still believe that this is a fake out, but regardless, we can come lower a little bit before we get our reversal. So what I expect from next week, we are already on Friday, so we're only 2 days away from closing this candle, that we actually come down to the $54,000 level by Sunday. And from there, get the reversal back to the upside and break straight above that support resistance flip zone that we so urgently need to reclaim to continue the uptrend. And at the same time also getting above the 22 moving average here. Now, when I go back to the daily chart, remember what I said yesterday. I said if we lose here $55,000, expect that if we are going below that we get a quick wick to the downside and we'll straight come back up. And now you see we are bleeding slowly in direction of that level. We touched it, got a bounce today already from there, but we are not out of the woods, guys. We're definitely not out of the woods. In my opinion, there's still a lot of bearishness in the chart currently, hence why I still believe that this small flush is coming. But I'm going to show you altcoins here in a minute that are absolutely resilient to that. Also here, guys, this daily chart, we're getting closer and closer to potentially get into the bottom support downward sloping trend line here one more time into that green box, which is sitting around $53,000. Here, just something I want to mention, guys, we don't have to come completely into it. It's enough that we get close to it. So by close, I mean here 53,700, 53,900, something like this would be close enough if we get it and would mark a higher low and would change the structure of this downward sloping trend here finally, if we are getting it, because we had here a lower low, then we would be still higher than this low here, and that would slowly mark the reversal back to the upside. The next indication for that would be if we break here this lower high and start creating a higher high, and then the next final indication would be a break of $70,000 to change completely here on the higher time frames the market structure from a downtrend back into an uptrend, and that's what I'm looking out for. Again, I have orders stacked in this green box here, and you should do the same, guys, because every time when we come in here, it's a huge opportunity here on this 12-hourly chart. You see now with the new 12-hourly candle, the stochastic RSI is slightly turning around. Also, the RSI is slightly turning around. We're getting here now a lighter red candle on the MACD, indicating that momentum is potentially shifting here in the short term at least. But as long as we are not breaking above the EMA ribbon, we should be prepared that we get here one last move into that green box here, potentially losing it with a wick, coming back up, and only then reclaiming the EMA ribbon. So, but see this as an opportunity, guys. Like I said yesterday also already, that when we come into this green zone here or getting a wick below that, we potentially never ever, for at least this bull run, come back into these price levels. Hence why you should have a lot of layered limit orders in these levels here to make sure that you get into the trade. Not only leverage, of course, also spot, so for long-term holdings, because that's also what I'm doing here. So, but I can tell you, as soon as we are breaking here, this area of the VPVR, Bitcoin is going to send. We only need to reclaim this on the 12-hourly chart and turn this into support. We are going to send to the upside. And we are really, really, really close to doing that. But like I said, I still believe one final move to the downside, then we are good to go to the upside. Also here on the lower time frames, so that we came now back here to this downward sloping trend channel that I was talking about, parallel channel yesterday here. And also every touch, in my opinion, is a good opportunity to add to long-term holdings for Bitcoin. Every single time you just keep adding, because we are losing momentum to go lower, and altcoins are basically the precursor of it, because they don't want to go lower anymore. Just before we jump here into altcoins, you also see here on the eating slowly into these low leveraged long positions all the way down to $53,700. Now you see why I said $53,700, because there it stops on the liquidation levels, and from there we should definitely get a bounce once we have taken out that part of the liquidity, which is most likely happening either today or tomorrow, in my opinion. The other thing that I would like to see here is that we get a fake move here today to the EMA ribbon to $56,800, close there on CME, then come down, take out the liquidity, and open here on CME again. Now we have a big CME gap of over $2,000, which guarantees us more or less that we will come up here and retest the EMA ribbon, and most likely from there start the reversal back to the upside. So this is just something that I'm hoping for, that it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, just a scenario that I would like to see. But just to understand my thought process, why I have orders down here, because we are closer to this part of the liquidity than anything above us, and that's why I have placed so many orders down here, because it makes sense that we come down here, bounce from here, and then start the reversal to the upside. You also see that when I go here now to the liquidation heat map, that all the way down here to $53,700 is liquidity below us, but after that there's nothing anymore, and then it's just liquidity above us. So again, logically, it makes a lot of sense to take this out and then push it back to the upside. So now when we are going here into this 4-hourly chart, also here, the demand zone is in alignment and giving confluence with that here with $54,400. Again, if we're losing this demand zone, it will be short-lived with a quick wick to the downside, come back up, reversal into that supply zone here first. I think on the way up, this will not give us big resistance. And once we have broken through this, everything is set to move here into the mid $60,000 range. So, and you also see on the MDX algo gradient indicator here that this would put, based on the gradient, the Bitcoin heat back into absolutely cooled down into a green phase. And look here, every time when we have a green phase, when we come into a downwards move, we usually reverse back to the upside. So, and that makes a lot of sense to get this by a short-lived move to the downside, demand area coming back up and then heating up again. The dominance is going to the downside, and that is one of the indications that I have seen why some of these altcoins are holding up so strong against Bitcoin right now. So here, of course, the 57% level is the level to break. I still believe that we potentially scratch closer to 59-60% when Bitcoin starts turning around and goes to the upside. I don't expect that the dominance will dramatically fall to the downside while Bitcoin is going up at this stage. This stage is also coming, guys. Don't worry. It's definitely coming, but when Bitcoin is turning around initially and reclaims $60,000 and gets a $2,000-$3,000 candle, the dominance will go up again. So which is fine. I'm fine with that. Right now, what is most likely going to happen here is some of these altcoins, they are heavily oversold. Nobody wants to sell them anymore. And I'm going to show you exactly the altcoins that I'm looking at right now. And that's why you see the dominance going to the downside, because people are starting to accumulate at these levels. Now when Bitcoin starts turning around and the dominance goes up, at least in dollar terms, these altcoins going to send with Bitcoin together. And that's why it's so important that we have a look at them today. And also, when we look on the leverage side for altcoins, we are seeing a lot of negative funding right now on altcoins. Look at this here. So they are completely cooled down the funding rates. Nothing is hot here. Nothing, absolutely zero. Again, low leveraged long positions that you want to hold for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, make a lot of sense right now. Would I go and long now anything with 50x? No, just because the funding rates are down. No, I would not do that. But like 3-4x positions with a little bit more money in it, so bigger position size, that starts to make a lot of sense now, because I don't believe that many altcoins that I'm showing you right now have another 25% move to the downside in themselves right now. So also here, when we're looking at the total free market cap, can we still risk to come down here into the $500 billion zone in this falling wedge pattern? Yes, definitely. But there is one underlying support level that we're scratching on right now. And as long as that is holding, we might not come down into that area. And this is the last support zone here from 527 to $537 billion. As long as we are holding this, we might bounce from here already and lose this, and we definitely come down into that green box of $500 billion. So that's what I'm looking out for. And like I said, we are just a couple of days away, guys, a couple of days to get a massive bounce here to the upside and stop this whole downwards movement. A couple of days, guys. You have to ask yourself, does the total free crypto market cap has enough time to create a move over the next couple of days to come down into this green zone down here in this box here on this downward sloping trend line? Or is there just enough time to come to $527 billion, maybe a wick slightly below that, and then come back up to the upside? I believe we only have time to test the bottom of that $528 billion zone here and bounce from there back. to the upside and not lower. And guys, before I go now into altcoins, if you are want now to trade some altcoins and you don't want to do it with your own money, the best thing that I can recommend to you is that you take $100, deposit them on Bybit, claim a free $500 airdrop position, and build a low leveraged position with any of these coins that I mentioned here. And some of these coins are the coins that I'm gonna show you here in a moment that are pretty resilient against Bitcoin keeping to bleed to the downside. So take advantage of that, because this offer is running out in 12 days and I don't know when it's actually coming back. I have to speak to my Bybit manager to ask them if they potentially even can extend it when it's running out. I have no idea. I have to ask them. But right now, if you want not to use your own money to trade, then the best thing that I can recommend you is deposit $100 on Bybit. Everybody should have $100, and claim your free $500 airdrop position and withdraw the $100 straight away again. Keep the position, keep all the profits that you make out of the position. The only thing what you cannot do is trying to withdraw the $500. Trust me, if you do that, you lose the $500. Don't do that. Trade with it, make a couple thousands of dollars here. With a 4x position, even 5x position, you can make $1,000–2,000 out of it. Take advantage of that as long as exchanges are throwing around with free money, because this is stopping at some point, you know. So there is a link here in the description and in the pinned comment for you. Ethereum is, funny enough, also holding up strong while Bitcoin is going down. That's why I always said this green box here is so important. And as long as we are holding this, expect that Ethereum will bounce from here. So, and things are on the daily chart looking now a little bit better, because we have completely bottomed out on a stochastic RSI. So potentially by tomorrow we see here already a reversal to the upside, and the RSI is also going sideways. So you should understand Ethereum is still somewhat an altcoin and is showing right now strength against Bitcoin. So of course it has to do with the dominance going to the downside, but regardless, it looks like that also on Ethereum people got tired of selling, or everybody that wanted to sell has already left, and now people that are still accumulating at these levels are slowly pushing it back to the upside. Again, if you want to be super safe here, don't buy in that green zone, buy on the break of this downward sloping trend line and open a trade from there. But I can tell you, if I get one more time the opportunity that it touches here $2,300, I will add massively more to my current Ethereum position that I'm already holding. And otherwise, if I don't get it, then everything stays the same. At the break of this downward sloping trend line, I'm going to buy more. One of the other coins that I think has bottomed out now is Telegram. Why Telegram? Because the MACD is about to turn around. The stochastic gave already a buy signal. RSI is going flat. And we have here also on the gradients a reversal indication, and we are in a green zone here. Plus that Pavel Durov made yesterday a statement that he thinks it's unfair that a CEO got imprisoned, or they tried to imprison him for things that happened on his application that he has not that much control of. So, and that there was actually a dedicated person in the European Union that they could have called for this, for what they accused him of, and cooperate with this person directly and figure everything out. But what did France instead? They arrested Pavel Durov. So he made a statement about this yesterday that marked, in my opinion, the bottom for Telegram. So here, just if you want to be super safe, wait another 4% before entering, because we are breaking then this downwards trend here. That will mark a safe area to long Telegram here back into $7, potentially even higher than that. Then another coin that's pretty resilient currently, and also in my opinion has bottomed out, is Phantom. And I definitely gonna open here in the next couple hours a bigger Phantom position, because first of all, the MACD also shows signs that it wants to turn around by tomorrow. The stochastic RSI is completely flatlining here in oversold conditions, and the RSI starts to slowly come back to the upside. So here also, just another reason is that we are here in that demand zone. In these demand zones, we usually find at some point support and see a reversal. The safest entry for you guys would be here around still the 41 cent level when we are breaking above the 50 moving average. But I might open already tomorrow a position here because I think by tomorrow we're going to see a nice move to the upside. And a move to the 50 moving average is not small, guys. You know, so look here, only into the 50 moving average is already an 8% move. So I think I don't want to wait on this and take that 8% to the upside personally. Another one that's holding up quite well is Coty here on the MDX algo gradients also, as you can see. So here we are in the blue zone right now. Here I still believe we will see a little bit more sideways chop because we just got on the 4-hourly chart a sell signal on the stochastic RSI, but also here the RSI overall is trending slightly to the upside. The MACD is about to put in a buy signal with the next 4-hourly candle close, and that could potentially mark early signs of a reversal. So I just want to move here the Fibonacci retracement levels a little bit to the side. So, and I want to show you why. So I'm not putting too much weight on the stochastic RSI because we are pushing here sideways now since yesterday, while the RSI is going up and the MACD is starting to flip bullish. And in these scenarios, you can start ignoring the stochastic RSI. So once we're breaking above 7.9 cents, I'm also buying here. There is, of course, another small downtrend going on here. So, and that is an entry level for you guys. If you want to play it safe, enter here around 8 cents, which is slightly above the golden ratio and makes it definitely a solid entry. And you can trade this easily here to 9.3 or all the way up to 10.3 cents in my opinion here. So, and again, guys, if you also want the MDX Algo Suite, which is amazing, there is a link with a 10% discount in the description. And remember, if you don't know how to use it, buy it and book a call with the team. They're going to explain you how to use it properly. So, and there's no other company out there that is offering indicators that's actually doing that. And that's why I'm saying to you guys, if you need help with indicators, or especially with these indicators, because you don't understand some of them when I'm showing them, buy the indicators and book a call with the team. They are explaining you everything. So, and trust me, you will make a lot of money off these indicators. I made multiple 6 figures in the last couple of months just because I use these indicators, because sometimes only because of these buy tags when I got them, sometimes of these reversal indications, sometimes of these sell tags, different indications, also different indicators that I was using. So make use of that with the link in the description. And then another one is ICP. ICP, I think, still need like 48 hours, but then also we should be close to a bottom. Again, downward sloping trend line, once it's broken, it will send to the upside. Here you see also the RSI doesn't want to go lower anymore. The stochastic could put in a buy signal if we go a little bit higher, and the MACD print also really small red candles here, which is also an indication for that there is not much selling pressure left anymore in ICP. So, and here my target, my first target is $12, which is over a 40% move to the upside, I think. Let's check here. Oh, 67%, sorry, 67%. And $12, almost 69% to the upside. So that is a juicy move. You don't even need leverage for that. The next one is NIA, also downward sloping trend line. Also here, stochastic at the bottom, RSI flatlining. You see it's across all some of these altcoins, the same pattern that is repeating over and over again. And when I see something like this across multiple altcoins, I know, okay, most likely we are really close to the bottom and getting a reversal soon. And that's why I'm getting ready to buy all of these coins at the break of the downward sloping trend lines that we see across multiple altcoins, and also the indicators in alignment printing here soon buy signals, and are also showing sideways movement on the RSI, while we have only a little bit of selling pressure on the MACD here. So here, a break of the downward sloping trend line. I would actually now change this a little bit. An entry at $3.82 for near with the target of almost $5, so 28%. Here, 3x leverage, more than enough. You can put like $20,000 on a trade, and you would make $17,000, you know. So on this quick move here to the upside, 28% is not a lot for a coin like NIA. And the last one is Rune. Rune here, I still believe, at least on a 4-hourly time frame, we could see a retest here of $3.48. But I also don't believe that we are going to break this level for multiple reasons. Here's a downward sloping trend line that's acting as support for a really long time already, and which is also creating a falling wedge between these lower highs and these lower lows that we are putting in here. So of course we're here along the bottom line of it, but when I go here into the higher time frames, you're also going to see here that we are at the bottom. You look at this here, stochastic RSI flatlining and oversold conditions, RSI slightly going to the upside, selling pressure on the MACD, small candles compared to before, previous candles that we see here. So also, and the candle that we are putting in, that doji candle, could also be the first early sign of a reversal. If we close this candle as it is today and tomorrow start moving it to the upside, then you know we have a Morningstar pattern, reversal is coming, and we are going back to the upside. So these are some of the coins that I'm getting ready to buy massively right now, because there's so much confluence across different altcoins. And before I forget it, I forgot to look at the Excel sheet for a winner for the $500 today. So here's something that we do for ZoomX, guys. Don't forget, if you deposit $100 on ZoomX and sign up with the link in the description, you stand a chance to win 2 times per week $500 on ZoomX. So what I'm going to do is on Sunday I'm gonna pull 2 winners directly. So go to ZoomX, sign up with the link in the description, deposit $100 to be eligible for the $500 draw that I'm going to do. And then on Sunday, I'm gonna pick 2 winners for that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here again. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you with more money tomorrow.